tailgating, speeding, running red lights, aggressive lane changes. Sometimes we get complaints about people driving on the shoulder of the interstate to pass traffic, especially during traffic slowdowns.
That was Maple Grove Police speaking last fall on the rise of road rage cases. Now we're learning more details about a road rage incident that turned deadly. On Easter Sunday, a dispute between two drivers ended with one fatally shooting the other in Maple Grove. As it turns out, that dispute started well before that. Police say it actually started near St. Cloud and lasted for more than 40 miles. On Wednesday evening, Maple Grove Police announced that the man who fired the fatal shot turned himself into police. As we went to air, charges in the case were still pending. Court and jail records show the suspect is a 30-year-old man from Minneapolis with no significant criminal history. The man who was killed was 61-year-old William Hare of Buffalo. In a statement to the media, Maple Grove Police called the incident, quote, a tragic event for the family and loved ones of the victim, along with the community. From a tragedy Maple Grove Police had to respond to one that brought smiles and celebration. The city swore in 3 new police officers this week. They are Autumn Fring, Daniel Smith, and David Gordon. All 3 were first hired last fall and started solo patrol duties in February after completing their field training. The new hires are very familiar with police work before coming to Maple Grove. Fring's father is a former lieutenant with the Minnesota State Patrol. Smith was an officer with the Deep Haven Police Department, and Gordon served as a police officer in Sleepy Eye. The rising cost of essentials from gas to groceries continues to impact the spending habits of consumers.
We are finding more and more folks coming and checking out the sales, maybe people that have never used it before, because of inflation rates, because of the prices of gas and the prices of groceries going up so high. Right now, Fare for All is more important than ever.
The Food Group, a New Hope-based hunger relief nonprofit, operates pop-up grocery sites throughout the Twin Cities. They're called Fare for All, which buys fresh produce and frozen meat in bulk from wholesalers and sells it to the public at a 40% discount. Students and staff at one Maple Grove Elementary School have a little bit more elbow room after the school's recent expansion. The Osseo School District added almost 12,000 square feet to Rice Lake Elementary to account for the school's growing enrollment. The new space includes 6 new classrooms and community learning space.
We definitely need this space. A few of us didn't have any windows. We didn't have any room for the students to group up and things like that. So now we have more space than we need. I have groups out here every single day.
I use it for reading, catching up on homework, doing work, whatever I need to do.
It just feels like instead of where we were in a room with no natural light, now there's natural light all around with all the windows.
Well, good.
A unique art project is underway at Wayzata Central Middle School that's been 20 years in the making. As Delane Cleveland reports in School Spotlight, the project could put the school's longtime art teacher in the Guinness Book of World Records.
So they're a certain size.
Julie Tuminen has a passion for art.
I love doing it myself, and I love sharing my passion with my students and seeing them create things. So these are
She's taught art for the last 14 years at Wayzata Central Middle School.
Here, let me see.
But she's also a collector of sorts. In her classroom are stacks of boxes filled with thousands upon thousands.
Some of them have a little bit lighter color.
Of marker caps.
Oh, that one's black.
At last count, she had amassed 50,000 caps.
Like you can see, this one has 2,670.
All collected over the last 20 years.
Who else but a crazy art teacher would save marker caps for 20 years?
While some might call it crazy.
Come on in, same seats as usual.
There's a purpose behind the 2 decades of marker cap stockpiling.
They actually called Compass and they said, hey, we're going to do a project that's a little non-traditional. Do you have anybody who can do a marker cap project? Let's find another shade.
Micah Leanders is a teaching artist from the nonprofit organization Compass.
One yellow.
She was brought in to help Tuminen fulfill a vision of creating a mural with each of these marker caps.
And they said, hey, would you like to, you know, are you up for a challenge, something new? And I said, absolutely, I would love to do it.
For 2 weeks,
All right, perfect.
Anders will work alongside these students to help them make a piece of abstract art.
So that's kind of the plan.
We're sorting the different colors.
The objective is to sort the marker caps and then glue them onto 4 large pieces of plywood to create a design that's full of color, vibrancy, and a whole lot of creativity.
It's going to be really cool and it's really fun.
Eventually, the mural will find a home here on this wall.
We're hoping to have an open house.
This project, which was 20 years in the making, will be Tuminen's way of leaving her mark on Central Middle School. She's planning to retire at the end of the school year.
It's like my last hurrah, and I can't explain it.
It's a last hurrah that could land her and her students in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I feel like I'm going to be famous.
After all, an art project using 50,000 marker caps would be difficult to duplicate.
Someone would have to save marker caps for over 20 years to beat my record. I think it's going to be hard to beat.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A Maple Grove brewery plans to roll out something new this weekend. It's called beer poking.
We got our specialty Bock Party steins that we're going to be poking beers in. This is Snowprint, our Doppelbock we've brewed for several years. So when we poke this with a red hot iron, we're going to caramelize some of those sugars, make it a little bit desserty, just kind of a new and interesting experience.
Beer poking is a tradition in northern climates, usually taking place in the early spring when Bock beers hit the market. True to tradition, OMNI Brewing will hold its very first Bock Party. It takes place on Saturday starting at 11 a.m.